What is the broad philosophy behind the technology architecture that India is now wanting to put in place?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for the kind introduction, but I'm certainly only a small player in the India Stack. There are many people who have been involved in the India Stack, but and I think that it does take many people to build the kind of movement that we are doing. So I think that characterizing me as the architect is probably not fair. So therefore, I think that but I have had the opportunity to be having a front row seat in many of these exciting things happening. So I will answer in that context. So I think one of the things that we have been we've been thinking about in India is that and I think through a number of things, and many of these things are the understanding evolves over time. So you start from we started in Aadhaar, then things like UPI have happened, and now and each one of these things are actually extending, and there is this whole account aggregator stuff going on in the financial space. There is work in health, and there is work in ONDC. So there's a number of different interesting things. And then there's and something that's close to my heart, we're doing work in Indian languages. So there's a bunch of interesting things that are happening in the public space. And I think that I like to think of it a little bit more in a kind of in a slightly more theoretical way, is that what we want to create is we want to create for each one of these spaces, we want to create certain open protocols. And these open protocols are things that are rules by which the entire ecosystem plays. And the reason why you want to actually have these open protocols is that you want to and so therefore you can have multiple players come into any different market. And we believe that when there are multiple players coming and doing innovation is when the maximum value comes to the customer and to the country as a whole. And so therefore there are certain fundamental parts which are run as digital public goods, are developed as digital public goods and run as digital public infrastructure. And then the market innovation thrives on top of that to make things to really have exponential innovation. And therefore many of the areas that we are focusing on is actually to be at the lowest level, the foundational level, right? And to build the things so that these are things which are obviously important for the government for itself, but also relevant for the market to build on top of that to make I suppose and I think this is a word that is to really make life better for all Indians.